Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to how can we recognize our true nature and intuitively turn inward in everyday experience. My first thing that caught my eye was mirror mirror on the wall. Mirror mirror alone. Oh wait, mirror mirror alone. I have a feeling we've heard of this one before, but I'm not sure. I looked at my list. I had nothing with mirror. Well, I did have something with mirror on there, but it was something different. So I'm wondering if this is just a snippet of that. Hopefully not. If nothing else, we can still talk about this. Even though it's a snippet, we can talk about it specifically. So anyways, let's go and get started.
Oh, good morning. I'm Jane. My question is the step of intuitively turning inwards,
Yes.
like that 10% turning to the self. You've mentioned to understand it a bit more concretely. I'm wondering what other instances in which we already do this subconsciously or consciously in our daily life that you can maybe point us to.
So Jane is referring to the 10th man story, which I have used many times. It's a beautiful story where we are missing the most obvious thing, ourselves, and then we are noticing everything else. Now somebody said, but that's not true. Nobody forgets to count themselves. Oh, we do. We are always forgetting to count ourselves. All the time. The real self. Only the Advaitin knows this, or the enlightened one knows this. We are all forgetting to count ourselves.
I guess my question is, where are we forget to count ourselves? Because now I get the other part where it says, he says we're forgetting to count our real selves. So in terms of the example about the crossing the river and they forget to count themselves, obviously that's a more of a metaphor. I believe the metaphor is simile. A metaphor, I believe, is the right terminology for it. But the fact that we would, of course, not forget to count ourselves, but that example is a great example of Advaita Vedanta. So, in what example, much like the crossing the river example, but a more of a real life example, how are we forgetting to count our true selves? I hope that's the question is about to answer here.
What we take to be the world, that's the world, not me. That's very clear. But when we come to the body, we think, I am the body, and the mind, and the intellect. I have no doubt at all, I am this person. But these are all objects. And what is beyond that, the real me, it's clearly present, but we continuously forget. That's why these Advaitic exercises are given. Stories like the 10th man is given. Try this. We'll do this 2 ways, and let's see if you can become. The object is to become aware of awareness.
Actually, I wonder if you can change the 10-man story to something along the lines of the 8 or 9-man story. Maybe no 10-man might be the right one. I can't remember. I can't remember if I'm sorry for coughing. I can't remember if this was already said. I'm sure it has been, but I can't remember. Essentially, the first 5 people are your senses: touch, feel, taste, smell, hear. Then the other 4 are your emotion, your intelligence, your what was it? Hold on. What was it? Your emotion, your thoughts, your intelligence, and your ego, essentially. Your mind, your intellect, something along those lines, essentially. One of those. Emotions, intellect, mind, and ego. I don't know if mind's something separate from intellect, but let's just do that for now. Otherwise, we'll reduce this to a 9-man. And then the 10th one is your true self that we always tend to forget. That would be a pretty cool story. It would explain a lot of things for sure. That we always account for everything: our senses, our emotions, our intelligence. I wouldn't doubt that they've said this before, but if it has, I've only heard it once, because that's the only reason why I'm like thinking, has it been said before? And I believe I've only heard it from Swami here.
That we are awareness. Not the body, not the mind, awareness itself. So we'll do it in 2 ways. Usually when we look at something, I am looking through my eyes at this flower. Can you see the flower here? Some of you can see it. I am looking at this flower. But now let's do the other way around. Start from here. Start from here means pay attention to the flower. Look at the flower. Pay attention to the flower. Note the flower. Give your attention there. Note that the flower is the scene. Flower is being seen. Is this true? Flower is being seen? What do you think? Yes, it's true. Now take your attention that the light is falling on the flower and the light is coming from there to my eyes. My attention is on the light, which I don't see, but my attention is there. Now my attention is on the light and the eyes, which are doing the seeing. Yeah. So the seeing is going on. Is this true or not? But my attention is not so much on the flower now. We are aware of the flower, but we are more aware of the seeing going on. Light coming from there to the eyes, the seeing is going on. And there from the eyes it goes to my mind. You can close your eyes now. I saw a flower and it's red, and I did this analysis the Swami taught me. I heard the words, I've understood it, I'm doing the process. This is mind. This is mind. Is this going on now, this thinking? Yes. And that awareness which is in which the mind is doing its thinking, the eyes are doing the seeing, and the red flower is the seen, that awareness in a sharp turn become aware of awareness. Not the mind becoming aware of awareness, that will just think. The mind will keep on thinking only. Mind will try to understand. Don't try to understand. Don't try to think. Just see that all thinking, understanding is going on in awareness. All seeing with the eyes is going on in awareness. And open your eyes and see the flower. That it is going on in awareness. You're seeing it in awareness.
I'm laughing because it says don't think. The mind don't think, don't see. But you see, but you're thinking and seeing this all in awareness. It's kind of funny because, and another thing is the sheer fact that you can't help but think about these things because he's telling you to do something and you're constantly thinking about doing these things. So don't think, but just be aware of awareness. It's like, so it's just kind of funny whenever you can't help but think about these things to consciously do these things. So by him telling you not to do this, it's kind of contradictory in the sense that you can't help but do it. But obviously that is the truth, is where you have to get to a point where you're not thinking about these things, where you want eventually just become aware of awareness itself. So, and I could only understand that to be where if you're not, essentially in a meditative state, where you're not thinking, there's nothing going on, where you're just in awareness itself. We're not being distracted by thoughts, you're not being distracted by your five senses, you're not being distracted by your emotions, your intellect, your ego. But that's like I assume very hard to do, because that's essentially Raja Yoga, where you're essentially kind of meditating on that idea, meditating on the awareness itself. I think, again, I have not really studied up on Raja Yoga. I've not studied anything in particular, but I've been following these gurus and swamis that I've watched, and I'm very familiar with Karma Yoga, which is actions and thoughts, where Jnana Yoga is a bit of thoughts too, but it's not the action portion of thoughts. It's just essentially thinking of what you are not. Am I this pen? No. Am I this headset? No. Am I the eyes? No. That's essentially Jnana Yoga. It's thinking, removing what you are not until you get to the point of what you are. And then I believe from there you go to Raja Yoga to meditate on that what you are. Again, not an expert, but I believe that is the case.
Start from there, come back here. Flower is the scene. Light and eyes are doing the seeing. Then this is going on, thinking is going on in the mind, in the background, processing. And that is being illumined by me, the awareness. It's an aware experience, a conscious experience, a living experience. That's what awareness does. And then flow out from awareness, illumine the mind which is thinking, hearing the Swami, thinking. Then open the eyes. Instrument of knowledge has been deployed. I'm still aware. And then the flower is revealed. Go from the flower back to the consciousness, go from the consciousness or awareness back to the flower. Awareness, mind, eyes, flower. Flower, light and eyes, mind, awareness. Try it actually in experience. Just take seconds. Then notice one thing. It's not that there is a flower, there is some light, there is an eye, there are eyes, there is a mind, and there is one awareness. No. In awareness, mind is functioning. In awareness, I become aware of the body and the eyes and the light. In awareness, I become aware of the flower. The flower, with all its qualities, the light and the eyes and the mind, all are appearing and shining in awareness. Awareness is like the ground on which, the screen on which these are appearing. Shankaracharya says, mirror. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam. The universe is like a city seen in a mirror, but within yourself. Shankaracharya, in those days, they didn't have computer screens. So they are only mirrors. The mirror example is troublesome because there's actually something outside which is being reflected in the mirror. So he has to cancel that out. He says, imagine there's a big mirror and you focus it there, you can see the city, you can see Manhattan in the mirror. And then forget that there's an external Manhattan. Just see the mirror and the reflection in the mirror. The universe is like that. Just as there is a reflection in the mirror, the universe appears in you, the consciousness. You are the mirror. Consciousness, awareness is the mirror in which the universe is appearing. Mind is appearing, senses and body are appearing, the world is appearing. All activities, things, persons, everything is going on in that one mirror.
The way I interpret that, though, it's something, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's how I interpret it. Essentially, it's like the mirror example that he's talking about, except for the fact that there is obviously the thing that's being reflected. But at the same time, I can see how it's not. And what I mean by this is, for example, I am aware of this pen. I am, I'm feeling it, I'm touching it, I'm seeing it through a monitor. So by me touching this, I am aware of it. But imagine, I thought something sticky was there. Imagine if I cannot feel touch. If I cannot feel. If I cannot feel touch. If I cannot feel in general, then would I be aware of this pen? I would not. But, going back to the point anyway, so I'm aware of everything that I'm aware of everything that my five senses is aware of. So this is how I interpret it. I'm aware of everything that my five senses are aware of. So, because I am seeing something, it is being manifested in consciousness. It is, how do I say it? Consciousness is being aware of it. So therefore it must, to me I say it must manifest in consciousness. Because if it doesn't manifest in consciousness, then clearly I'm not aware of it. So, what I'm tasting, what I'm smelling, what I'm seeing, what I'm touching, what I'm hearing are all manifesting in consciousness in my head. Assuming it's in your head. For now. And with that being said, it must manifest itself there, otherwise it does not exist. It's not to say that someone else can't touch something else and experience that, but for you it does not exist. So it's kind of like, I guess an interesting would be like, I'm in a room right now, and if all the doors were closed, does the world outside actually exist? I think that's a philosophy somewhere. But anyways, I'm unaware of anything else going on outside of this room, because I cannot experience anything outside this room because of the four walls that I have. So anyways, how I interpret it is essentially that my five senses experience things, and what I experience must manifest in consciousness, and if it manifests in consciousness, therefore it is consciousness. It's a bit of a different take, but that's how I interpreted that. So again, if I'm unable to feel anything, it can never manifest in my consciousness because I can never experience it. I cannot. I'm not feeling this right now. I can see it, so I know that it's there. I know I'm touching it, but I cannot experience the feeling of it because my feeling is dead. I don't have feelings. The touchy part, not the emotional part. Maybe the emotional part too. But anyways, so if I'm blind, I can never experience anything through my sight. That can never manifest in my consciousness. I can only feel something. I wonder if that. Let me know if that's kind of a way of explaining that. I'm not sure it's 100% accurate, but it seems to make sense to me. Because again, if you are not conscious of it, it does not, in a sense, exist. It's not to say that it doesn't. Maybe it does. I don't know how to explain this part. It's not to say that it doesn't exist, but it doesn't say that it does exist either. Because one, if you don't experience it or see it, then how do you know it exists? If you put something right behind this wall outside of my room, if I know it because I've experienced you doing that, but how do I actually know that you put it right there in that table and the other side of this wall? I don't. Even though you said you did. I could go out there and look and see it's there, and then when I come back around this corner, I can have in good faith that the pen or whatever that you put there is still there, unless someone else is here and just takes it. So this is a bit of a kind of a hard one, but at the same time relatively easily speaking. I just don't know if I'm 100% right or 50% right on this one, but the best understanding I have is the sheer fact that if you experience it, it must manifest in consciousness. Because if it does not manifest in consciousness, you cannot experience it. So your five senses are a way of experiencing the world, and when you experience the world, it translates into you experiencing it through your consciousness, because that's the only way.
Mirror of awareness. Notice further. A mirror example is fine. And this is from the Dakshinamurti Stotra. Notice further. Just think about the mirror and reflection. Wherever you see the reflection, there the mirror must be. Are you with me? You must follow these. At least the example must be clear. Then you can apply it as homework to consciousness and the universe.
Homework.
Mirror and the reflected city. That's the example. Consciousness and the universe. Consciousness, by consciousness I mean you, the real you. You and your universe. Mirror and reflected city. Now I'm saying wherever you see the reflected city in the mirror, there the mirror must be. If you see a building, there the mirror is. If you see a human being walking, there the mirror is. If you see the sky, a tree and the Central Park, there the mirror is. Wherever you experience the world, wherever you experience life, there you are.
And that's what I'm talking about, where you must experience it in order for it. You must experience it, and it must be experienced in consciousness in order for it to exist. So again, if you're blind, I would ask him, say there is a person out there that's not blind, that can see, and that's walking like you're talking about, and if you experience the person walking in front of you, there you are, the mirror. What if there's a blind person then? And the person that's the one that's not blind sees this person standing there, not doing anything, not saying anything, and there's a lot of other loud noises. And what about the blind person? Does he experience that person? You get what I'm trying to say here. That's the kind of the confusing part. Just because the blind person clearly doesn't experience that man that's just standing there, but the person that can see is experiencing the man that's standing there, so therefore it exists in one person but not the other. That's where the kind of hard and not hard part is, or that's the kind of hard part.
It's a no-brainer. It's a tautology. It's a triviality. But we forget it. Wherever the world, universe appears, there you are. Because it's appearing in you. Whenever the world or the universe or life appears, then you are. This is called, the consciousness is not limited in time and space. Consciousness pervades the universe. Consciousness is eternal. These are just ways of speaking. All it means is time, space, and everything happening and appearing in time and space are all appearing in consciousness. Notice one more thing. The reflection is not real. The mirror is real. When you look at the reflection, you see a building. Is there a building there, or it's just glass? It's glass. You see a human being in the mirror. What's there? If you go and will you shake the hands? No, you just touch glass. If there is water and earth and fire and space, nothing is there. It's just glass. Similarly, whenever you experience the universe, there is no universe there. There is only consciousness. Though it appears to be a universe. Whatever appears to be universe, earth, sky, fire, water, human beings, plants, animals, sorrow, joy, happiness, life and death, it's only consciousness. Touch it and see. Like that, Swami, let me take a look. One more point. Whatever happens in the reflection does not affect the mirror. Suppose a building collapses, you see in the reflection. Will the mirror crack? No. Suppose a fire is reflected there. Will the mirror burn up? No. Suppose you reflect the central part there in the mirror. Will the mirror get wet? No. Why not? Because the reflection does not affect the mirror. Because the false appearance does not affect reality. Similarly, nothing in the universe will affect you, the consciousness. It will affect the body. And if you're not careful, it will affect the mind. You're centered in your consciousness nature, even the mind will not be affected. But body will continue to be affected. Nothing in life will affect you, the consciousness. You are not born with the birth of the body. You do not age with the aging of the body. You are not depressed with the depression of the mind. You are neither excited nor furious nor disappointed with the excitement, anger and disappointment of the mind. No. You are ever the same, ever shining consciousness. One final point. Same mirror and reflection example. The mirror, follow this. This is subtle. Mirror is non-dual with respect to the reflection. Which means, when you take the mirror and the reflection, there is only one thing there, really speaking. There is only the mirror. Are there buildings, birds, human beings, trees, cars in a mirror? Of course not. It's crazy. It can't be. What's there in a mirror? A mirror. It's a reflection. Yeah, it's an appearance, reflection. But there are no real buildings and cars and people in a mirror. Similarly, so there, if you count, how many will you count? If you count the mirror, there is only one thing. If you count people and buildings and trees, you'll count hundreds of things. But then when you realize it's a mirror and it's a reflection, there's only one thing. Mirror is non-dual with respect to the reflection. Consciousness is non-dual with respect to the universe. When you are experiencing life as awareness, how many are there? Millions, billions? No. One only. One without a second. Ekam eva dvitiyam, consciousness only. This is called Aham Brahmasmi experience. I am Brahman. Thank you.
That's actually really good. That's actually really good. Again, I understand what he's saying. And I know some people have said, you understand, but but still don't know. It's just very true. Just because you understand something doesn't necessarily mean you know completely. And that's to say, like, I understand it, but I guess it's not maybe I don't know, but perhaps maybe I don't know in the sense that I've not experienced it. That might be the better way to say it. I understand it, but I've not experienced it. I don't know in the sense of experiencing it. So it's kind of like someone who knows how to start a fire with rubbing sticks, but has never done it. So basically he understands how it works and everything, but he's never experienced it, he's never done it. So he doesn't really know, per se. Just because he has the knowledge for it doesn't mean he can actually do it, necessarily. And I guess that can apply a lot of things in life, because you have the knowledge of rubbing two sticks together, but are they the right two sticks? And then if you have the knowledge for that, are you doing it with the appropriate speed, with the appropriate angle, with the appropriate moisture levels, there's so much more to it than just rubbing two sticks together. It becomes more complicated. So when I ask my reaction to how can we recognize our true nature and intuitively turn inwards in everyday experience? Mirror alone. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up the sound down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vid.